And we're back to some more Hamilton Tigers franchise mode in FHM 11. And in this one, as we see by our history here, we did not make the playoffs for a second time in 3 seasons this past season. 43, 37, and 2 was our record, 88 points on the season. And that is 4 seasons in a row of either just barely making or missing the playoffs. And I hate to say this, but I think this team is heading towards a rebuild. I really do, because as much as I would like to believe this team is capable of contending due to the skill of some of the players we have, like Tyson Orr, who we acquired partway through the season in the last one, 24 points in 26 games played. We acquired him out of free agency, signed him for 7.85 for 3 years. Then there's Viggo Bjork, who had 90 points last season. And then, of course, in goal, you had Daniel Kleems last year with 61 games played and a .914 save percentage. So that was all good. But as much as I still would like to believe that this team is capable of contending, I don't know if that's the case, because as we see by our record the past 4 years, we've been mediocre at best. Just a lack of success as a whole for this team. I mean, nothing has gone according to plan. And then you take a look at the ages of most of the players on our roster. We have 4 players who are under 27 in Farkas, Hamel, Valentin, and Stevens. And then in terms of prospects, we only have Archie Starks in goal, who is a 1.5 star ability, 5-star potential. So there's hope there in goal. But as we all know, goaltenders are almost always an unknown. There's always going to be a question mark there. And then you have Doug Meyer as well, 2.5 star ability, 3.5 star potential. We should probably call him up. But besides Starks and Meyer, and then Valentin and Stevens to an extent, we really don't have too much young talent. And with the lack of success we've seen lately, I think this team is heading to a rebuild. I just don't see any other way for us to maintain long-term success at this point. But I mean, we could try to keep patching up the team and see what happens, right? But we've seen where that's gotten us the past few years, right? So I think we need to seriously just unload some of these guys at the draft and just start fresh, because this is it just hasn't worked. None of this has worked. Nothing has gone according to the plan in this GM mode at all. And honestly, under normal circumstances, I would just say, you know what, we're done with this GM mode. But just given the fact that the rebrand is happening soon and that I don't want to start any new GM modes until then, we're going to stick to this. But it's just been, this GM mode has not been a fun one. This has been very frustrating, to say the least. And the 2038-39 Stanley Cup champions are the Buffalo Sabres. They last won in 2033. They went through Carolina, Detroit, the Rangers, and Chicago. All right, time for the awards ceremony. For the Ted Lindsay, Art Ross, and Maurice Richard, it is Cameron Combe of the Carolina Hurricanes. He had 59 goals and 126 points this season. For the Lady Byng Trophy, you have Peter Slanina, who between Vancouver and Dallas this season had 13 goals and 56 points. Then for the Bill Masterton, you have Cole Caulfield of Montreal, still in the league at 38 years of age, 36 goals, 62 points. Then for the Mark Messier Leadership Award, you have Nolan Fitzhenry of Seattle, 25 goals, 56 points. And for the Jennings, you have Olavi Rautiainen of Buffalo with a .919 save percentage in 67 games played. And for the Hart between Bedard, Melicharik, and Combe, it is Cameron Combe. And for the Conn Smythe, it is Noel Latikainen of Buffalo with 21 points in 22 games played. For the Calder between Kirk Christ, Doug Jackman, and Frank Bickersteth, it is Doug Jackman of Edmonton with 51 points. And for the Norris between Joe Spector, Noel Latikainen, and Liam Reed, it is Liam Reed of Buffalo, 72 points. For the Selkie between Timothy Miro, Christopher Barry, and Lucas Sinabulk, it is Christopher Barry of Philly with 47 points. For the Vezina between Olavi Rautiainen, Michael Richardson, and Donovan Knapp, is Olavi Rautiainen of Buffalo with a .919 save percentage and 8 shutouts. For the GM of the Year between Mark Fallon, Kent Hughes, and Tim Pattison, it is Tim Pattison of Buffalo. And for the Jack Adams between Alex Tanguay, Tim Kennedy, and Zach Redmond, it is Tim Kennedy of Buffalo. Oh, okay. Interesting trade offer for Max Lappin here. Johnny O'Duganin, 21 years of age, 2-star ability, 3-star potential. Currently on a entry-level contract, 19 passing, about average everywhere else. Last year in the AHL, he had 39 points in 72 games played, 70 grade. And honestly, Lappin was not someone who I was planning on re-signing anyway. He had 25 points in 76 games played last year, 58 grade. He had 113 hits, so he's physical. But if we take a look at what he wants nearly 6, in fact, not nearly 6 million. He wants 6 mil for 3 years. And that's just not money that I'm willing to shell out for someone like him. So we are, I think, going to do this trade with Utah, considering that we're getting someone back for someone who we're not even re-signing. And he's pretty good at that. He's a 2-star ability. So he should, at the very least, be able to compete for a spot in the NHL roster, right? So yeah, I think we're going to do this trade here, complete trade. As for other players who need to be re-signed, you still have Kazda, Korolev, and Hamel as the major names. And Kazda does not want to re-sign. What about Korolev? 6.5. And honestly, just given the fact that Kazda doesn't want to re-sign now, I think that's all the more reason why we need to go into a rebuild, because nothing is going to plan. I would like to re-sign Korolev, though. He had 50 points last year in 78 games played, 57 the year before. I managed to get him down to 6.1 for 3 years. Yeah, I'll give him that. Hamel wants 1.4 for 3 years. He's 23 years of age. Yeah, I guess we'll do that. And then we'll also check the signing deadlines here. Okay. Archie Starks definitely got to be signed. I think I'll also sign Arthur Janssen, and that'll be it. It'll be Starks and Janssen. As for Aaron Mountain, I think I'll leave him unsigned for right now. I'll give him 1 more year in college there. He's at a 2-star ability right now, but it doesn't seem like any of his ratings are really at the point where it needs to be for him to succeed at the NHL level. So I will pass on him for the time being. And here's our 2038-39 season summary. We apparently had a winning season, but nothing else in the positive category. We failed to reach the playoffs, a longevity bonus of 14, total season score 25, total career score of 328. And I think I'll continue to develop these coaching ratings here. And Chris Knobloch is not going to be renewed. I will reject his contract extension. Honestly, at this point, I think we just need a complete reset here. Yeah, even our season outlook says rebuild. And I honestly have to agree. I don't see any other way forward for this team without just patching it up and hoping it works, which, again, that hasn't really worked. That has not worked out for this team. I mean, let's just take a look in free agency here, see what's out there. I mean, there's a lot of good players in free agency this year, that's for sure. There's Rasfarov, there's Ruse, there's Chenot, there's Gibson, Stinson, Huggard, Price, Nelson, Kazda, of course, is there, Sundberg, Vantroba. There's a lot of good players in free agency this year, but at this point, I don't think overpaying for veterans is the way to go. Okay, I think we need to hire Jay Pandolfo as our next head coach. He's got the 20 coaching rating, defensive physical preferences. He's got a 20 for defensive skills, 17 coaching prospects, 17 player management, 14 discipline, 14 tactics. So he looks pretty good all around to help our young guys develop. So Jay Pandolfo for 2 seasons. There you go. We are going to hire Tom Kostopoulos as our skill coach. Prefers prospects. He's got the 18 physical training, 17 coaching prospects, and 18 player management as well. And then I think we'll hire Jarrett Stoll as our defensive coach. So with that done, I think we'll simulate up to the draft order announcement. And here we go, time for the draft lottery. We're actually in it twice. I believe one of those picks is Toronto's from a trade that we made earlier. So let's see the draft order. At number 20, you have your Hamilton Tigers, followed up by Montreal, Philly, your Hamilton Tigers once again at number 17, LA, San Jose, Vegas, Nashville, Winnipeg, Cleveland, Columbus, Pittsburgh, the Islanders, Ottawa, Columbus, Minnesota, Edmonton, Columbus, and then Florida at number 1, followed up by St. Louis at number 2. So I wonder, would anyone be willing to give me a top pick for Frundell? You have Winnipeg, who's offering us a first. Houston's offering us a first as well. Dallas is offering us their first as well, but they had a winning record last season. Same for Colorado and same for Calgary. So I think it's got to be between Houston and Winnipeg. Let's see, what was the order again? Winnipeg's at number 12. And actually, Houston's pick is for next year now that I look at it. So do I want to take Winnipeg's first for this year, which is at number 12? I mean, I don't know if it's going to help. I mean, there might still be one of these 3.5-star potentials left at that point, probably the goaltender. Honestly, though, what I'm really looking at is Julian de Los Angeles, that 1-star ability, 4.5-star potential defenseman. And then also Miroslav Jurek, a 1-star ability, 4-star potential winger. But it's obviously going to be really tough to trade up for that number 1 pick. I guess I would also be willing, honestly, to unload Vigo Bjork for the right price. Oh, we got nothing for him. No team had an offer for him, probably because of his no movement clause, right? Yeah. And obviously also his contract in general is not great. So we know for a fact we're not getting the first overall pick. So let's just see who Florida takes at number 1. You have Julian de Los Angeles. Yep. I had a feeling. Now, what about St. Louis at number 2? What's their outlook looking like? Yeah, they were pretty bad last season. I can't imagine they're going to be wanting to take too much for that second overall pick. So we'll simulate ahead, and they take Brendan Luke, who is a 3.5-star potential. Then you have Columbus, Edmonton, Minnesota. And based on their records, I don't think any of them would be looking to trade those picks, and we probably wouldn't be able to trade for those picks anyway. So let's see what happens in the rest of the top 5. You have Ricky McPherson to the Columbus Blue Jackets. You have Andrea Benetti to the Edmonton Oilers, and you have Miroslav Jurek to the Minnesota Wild. He was the other guy I was looking at. So I think I'm going to simulate up to pick number 11 and see who's still on the board at number 12, considering that is the pick that Winnipeg offered us. So let's see who goes at number 6. Hal Hagen, the goaltender to Columbus. Then you have John Warara to the Ottawa Senators. Arthur Doyle, another goaltender, to the New York Islanders. Lawrence Herring to the Pittsburgh Penguins. Marco Fry to the Columbus Blue Jackets. And Jan Pastayovsky to the Cleveland Barons. So you have 3-star potentials left at number 12. The best skater of which being Eric Zegedy, 22 points in 49 games played last year in Slovakia, 64 grade. I mean, is he really worth Frundell? No, I think we can get more for Frundell, to be honest. I think we get more for Frundell. Yeah, let's simulate ahead to our pick at number 17. Yeah, and Zegedy's there at number 17 anyway, so we could just take him here with this pick. Yeah, I think it'll be Eric Zegedy. Welcome to the Hamilton Tigers. And now for our pick at number 20. I really like the look of Rich McCullough. He is a 1.5-star ability, 2.5-star potential, 18 hitting already, 19 aggression. So he's looks like a great enforcer type player. And he's actually got a pretty good offensive category already for an enforcer. So you never know. He might turn out to be a solid forward overall, not just as far as hitting goes, but also potentially in the offensive department. So Rich McCullough, welcome to the Hamilton Tigers. Simulating ahead now to our pick at number 53. There is still a 1-star ability, 2.5-star potential in Ambrose Sawyer. 73 points in the BCHL last year in 54 games played, 73 grade, like that. Like his personality, that's a good personality. And overall, looks like he has some decent ratings. Besides mental could be improved for sure. But you know what? For a second-round pick, I'm not going to be too picky. So Ambrose Sawyer, welcome to the Hamilton Tigers. And we're now in the 3rd round where there are not too many guys of interest left. So I think that'll be it for this draft. I see a pretty interesting prospect on Boston's prospects list. Roman Friedman, 21 years of age, 2.5-star ability, 3.5-star potential, and he still has not been signed by Boston. He's 21 years of age already. So I think I want to try trading for him. Frundell, Vic at 50% of his salary retained, Traverse at 50% of his salary retained, a 2nd from Dallas, and our 7th for the upcoming draft for the rights to Roman Friedman will probably work. He's got a pretty good physical category already, a good offensive category. Defensive and mental could be worked on as he gets older. And also, of course, he's got the 3.5-star potential and the 4-star consensus. And it's not like we're giving up much in terms of our future either. We're giving up a 2nd, which I'm not saying that you can't get NHL level players from, the later rounds of the draft. But in this instance, I am okay with giving up a 2nd and a 7th for a guy who could potentially be a core part of our future. And obviously, we're giving up a few veterans in Frundell and Vic and Travers. But like I said, this team needs a massive shakeup in the worst way. So offer trade, we'll see what they say. And there you go. Boston has accepted our offer of Anton Frundell, Matthias Vick at 50% of his salary retained, Craig Travers at 50% of his salary retained, a 2nd-round pick, and a 7th in exchange to the rights for Roman Friedman. Complete trade. So thank you for your service, Frundell, Vic, and Travers. But this team is very much due for a shakeup. So we're going to offer Roman Friedman here, get him on our team. And now since we've traded a few of our forwards, we're obviously going to have to acquire a few more forwards, but it's not going to be anybody special. So we have offered Christian Sum, 2.5-star ability, 29 years of age. Looks like a decent depth player. And I think we'll go for Kurt Harford as well. There you go. Kurt Harford, Christian Sum, and Roman Friedman have all signed their deals. So we're up to 23 players on our roster. And at this point, the rebuild is looking like it's going to go into full effect here. So I may as well just place all these guys on the trade block and see what other teams offer for them. I mean, I'm not going to shop all these guys right away, but if a good offer comes along for any of them, then I honestly won't say no. And into the Hockey Hall of Fame this year are Cale Makar, Alexander Barkov, Pat Verbeek, and Andrei Vasilevsky. Oh, Roman Friedman not off to a good start. He apparently has returned from his vacation unfit to play. Not a good look for the new acquisition. And we are going to have to set our captains here. So I think We will set Tyson Orr as the second alternate for right now. All right, we're at the end of the preseason now. And this is our roster heading into year number 15, I believe it is. You have Cleams and Warner in goal. On defense, you have Schaefer, Shkarikovic, Farkas, Anderson, Ballantine, Solberg, and Meyer. And at forward, you have Orr, Bjork, Antignani, Korolev, Watson, Stevens, Hamel, Harford, Sum, Schwartz, Fridman, Meyer, Ruck, and O'Duganin. And since I'm not expecting much this season, I think we can just go ahead and see the start of your number 15. Okay, so we're at the end of October now. We're 6-8-1. I think it's pretty safe to say at this point that we are officially rebuilders. I don't think there's any doubt about it at this point. We need to, I think, just embrace the rebuild and hope that we can get back to being competitive sooner rather than later because, yeah, it's just not working. It is just not working. So we're going to start out with a couple of trades that I already have lined up. And to be honest, we're probably going to be making more at the trade deadline, but we'll start with these two. First, we'll be making a trade with the Nashville Predators. We will be trading them Carter Watson. He is 28 years of age, 3-star ability, 1 year left on a $2.7 million deal. Currently has 5 points in 15 games played. Had 36 points last year, 14 hits so far. So he's been a pretty good player for us, but not someone who we're going into the future with. So we're going to add him on this deal. And then we're also going to be giving up a second because what we're getting in return is going to be Charlie Trethway, the 32-year-old defenseman, 3-star ability, pretty good offensively, 1 year left on his deal. And obviously, as someone who is on the wrong side of 30, I don't think he's someone who we're going to be re-signing, but he's really just in there to make the deal work. But the main attraction of this trade is Nashville's first-round pick, which they will accept this offer. Nashville is currently 8-5-1, so hopefully they, start losing a little bit so that pick can be better. But we're going to be doing this trade. Carter Watson and a second-round pick for Charlie Trethway and a first offer trade. And the big trade that we're going to be making here is going to be with the Portland Rosebuds. We will be receiving Madden Timchak, a 30-year-old defenseman, 2-star ability, pretty good offensively, decent defensively, so he'll do for right now. And he's got $5.5 million in salary for the next 3 years, so he'll be good to keep around for some padding so that we can stay above the salary cap floor because we're gonna be dumping off quite a bit of salary here, I have a feeling. And what we're also going to be getting is 2 first-round picks. Yep, this is going to be a big trade here. So we'll be sending our 4th and 6th for this year the other way to Portland, and also going the other way. The main part of this trade going to Portland will be Brody Antinani, 28 years of age, 3.5-star ability, 3.5-star potential. Very good player, honestly. I thought he would be a key part of our team, and honestly, he was during the time that he was here. But unfortunately, with the way things have gone lately, we just kind of need to move on from him so that we can get some draft picks back in return and start building a future for this team. So Antinani, get on there, and that will be Brody Antinani, a 4th and a 6th for Madden Timchak, and 2 first-round picks offer trade. And both trades have been accepted. So Carter Watson and a 2nd for Charlie Trethway and a 1st complete trade. And then you have Brody Antinani, a 4th and a 6th for Madden Timchak, and 2 firsts complete trade. And now we're going to need a couple of forwards. So let's see who's out there in free. Rasfarov and Ruse. Oh boy. Yeah, and then there's also Chenot, the goaltender, the 4.5-star goaltender. Yeah, 2 of the best players in the league are in free agency in November. We're not signing either of them. I'm not saying that we're signing these guys right now, considering the fact that we are officially committing to the rebuild. All right, we're committing to building for the future. I'm not looking to get anyone who's 28, 29, but yeah, that's certainly something. All right, just as some temporary depth, we're going to be signing Roberto Eckert. He wants 1.35 for 2 years. We'll do that. And we will also sign Cohen Petney, who wants an $820,000 deal for 2 years. We will do that as well. So for right now, that brings us to 23 players on the roster. I think we're going to keep going here with the simulation because there's no other trades that I have lined up currently, but I'm pretty sure that more are going to be happening as we get closer to the trade deadline here. All right, so we are on March 1st. As expected, we are 29, 35, and 3. Good enough for last in the Atlantic Division. And I don't think there's really much to do here except look for some possible trades here. And yes, we do have Viggo Bjork on the trade block. As much as I would have liked him to be a career Tiger, he deserves a shot at the cup, and it's clearly not going to be here. At least not anytime soon. And his age isn't doing him any favors. He's already on the wrong side of 30. He's 31 now. So we're going to have to, I think, move on from him. Tyson Orr, I think I'm going to move at the draft. I want to see if I could get a top 5 pick for him. I will prioritize Solberg. Can only get a 5th for him. Yeah, all right. I mean, that's understandable. He's only a 2-star ability, 34 years of age, making quite a bit of salary as well. So we definitely were not going to be getting much back for him. So I think we're going to be sending him to New Jersey for a 5th. And that will bring us to 71.1 million. So if we were to trade Schaefer here, then that would definitely put us below the cap floor if we didn't receive anything in return. Let me just see what we can get for Schaefer as far as picks go. Only a 3rd. For right now, we'll keep Schaefer because I'm really not finding anything that is worthwhile. I think I would rather just keep Schaefer on the roster just to have him fill out the cap floor, if nothing else. We can only get a 2nd for Korolev. And then what about Bjork? We can get a 1st for Bjork. And that's only from Colorado, who look to be in a playoff push right now. Yeah, I think they're in a wild card. Hold on, let me just see what I can get for Orr. A 1st from Minnesota or Edmonton. Edmonton is currently 6th in the Pacific and Minnesota is 9th in the Central. Let's see where Minnesota is in the league. They're 34th in the league. How's this year's draft looking? Well, 2 goaltenders in the top 2. Then you have Rolling, Bickerton. Bickerton doesn't look bad. Alan Stevens, Sean Latour. I think of all these players, Jim Bickerton definitely looks the most interesting, considering that he's already a 1-star ability at 17 years of age. Paul Rolling, however, does have the 4.5-star consensus. Jeez, these guys were born in 2022. That's how far we are into the GM mode already. I might wait until I see what next year's draft is like to trade Orr. Because as it is, we already have our own 1st, Portland's 1st, and Nashville's 1st. Now, granted, Nashville's 2nd in the Central, and Portland is 5th in the Pacific, but Portland has a losing record right now. So they're actually 27th in the league. So assuming we want to trade up in this year's draft, we might be able to just use our pick and Portland's pick, assuming they don't win the lottery, and then just use those to take either Bickerton or Rolling. But I think I'm going to hold off on trading Tyson Orr for right now. I don't think I'm going to accept either of those offers from Edmonton or Minnesota. So that being said, let's advance straight to the end of the regular season of year number, what is this now, 16? Yeah, year number 16. And now let's have a look at the end of the regular season stats. Werner in 35 games played with a 912 save percentage, and Kleems in 54 games played with 900. Ooh, a bit of a off year compared to the past 2 seasons. Skater-wise, you have Viggo Bjork leading the way with 65 points in 77 games played. We'll see what we could get back from him in the offseason. He is, I would say, likely to be moved. Tyson Orr with 52 and 79, Korolev with 51, 49 for Friedman, 47 for Schaefer, 38 for Meyer. So he's a young guy, 21 years of age. I believe this was his first full season in the NHL. Yes, indeed. So a good rookie season for him. Then you have Farkas with 34, Sum with 33, Ballantine with 32, Stevens with 32 as well. This is his sophomore campaign. Petney with 29, Timchak with 27, Shkarikovic with 21, O'Duganin with 19, and this was also his rookie campaign. Then you have Roberto Eckert with 18, Anderson, Hamel, and Harford also with 18, Trethway with 16, Schwartz with 11, Ruck with 2, and Meyer with 1. So I think with that, we will advance and see who wins the Stanley Cup. And your 2039-40 Stanley Cup champions are the Seattle Kraken. This is their 2nd championship. They last won in 2036. They went through Utah, LA, Winnipeg, and Columbus. Are there any players that I want to re-sign? Maybe some of the young guys like Risanen and Janssen and Weber, but that is about it. Everybody else on this list can get released. All right, it's time for the awards. For the Ted Lindsay and the Art Ross, you have Max Melicheric of Houston, 30 goals, 99 points. For the Maurice Richard, you have John Ravenshaw of Portland, 48 goals, 92 points. For the Lady Bing, you have Max Penkin of Seattle, 27 goals, 82 points. For the Bill Masterton, you have Emil Hemming of Dallas, 14 goals, 30 points. And for the Mark Messier Leadership Award, you have James Scantlebury. And for the Mark Messier Leadership Award, you have James Scantlebury of New York, 26 goals, 86 points. And for the Jennings, you have Olavi Rautiainen of Buffalo with a 915 save percentage in 62 games played. And for the Hart between Ravenshaw, Combe, and Melicheric, it is Melicheric. For the Conn Smythe, you have Zeev Buium of Seattle with 15 points in 18 games played. For the Calder between Erno Kondas, Paul Hayden, and Pat Newson, it is Erno Kondas of Winnipeg with 62 points in 77 games played. And for the Norris between Brian Dane, Ronald Lindsay, and Chris Latta, it is Chris Latta of Columbus with 63 points. For the Selkie between Nixon Sagkowski, Dalton German, and Pat Reed, it is Nixon Sekowski of Philly with 39 points. For the Vesna between Romain Audet, Olavi Rautiainen, and Emil Kahainen, it is Emil Kahainen of Columbus with a 927 and 5 shutouts in 61 games played. For the GM of the year between Bill Scott, Kyle Dubas, and Troy Bodie, it is Bill Scott of Columbus. And for the Jack Adams between Nicholas Backstrom, Megan Duggan, and Andrew Brewer, it is Nicholas Backstrom of Columbus. As now June 23rd, let's take a look at these signing deadlines. Who are we signing here? I will definitely sign Susek. He's only 19 and a 1.5 star talent, 3-star potential. But I think we will ignore everybody else. So Susek, I will offer you a contract. Wait, hold on. There's a defenseman called Will. There's a name. There's a guy with the name Will. I just saw in the player cards. Will. He's got to be generated, right? That's a generated player. Yeah. Okay, good. I was going to say Will. It's actually pretty good as far as his grade goes as well. 64 grade this past year with Minnesota in 59 games played. He's really good defensively, actually. Look at that. He's really good defensively. Anyway, moving on to the last day of the season. And of course, we did not get any positive categories. We got a couple of negative categories here, losing season and failed to reach the playoffs. Longevity bonus of 15. That's the only thing we have going for us. And total season score of 22. Total career score so far of 350. I'll just keep working on those coach ratings. And we are now on July 1st. So I think with that, we're going to end this off here because it's pretty clear the direction that this team is going in for at least the next couple of years, I'm going to say, and possibly even longer. So we're going to end this one off here, but not before I thank the channel members. Thank you guys so much. Really appreciate it. And now I'll end it off here. So in the next one, we will continue the rebuild. See you guys then.